Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General's report exposes just how much this NDP government is trying to keep Manitobans in the dark. As the Auditor General says, important aspects of the STARS contract documentation were not available to the public or even reported to the Minister of Finance. This is a scary practice on the part of the Premier and his minister that persists. On April the 1st, Manitobans' property registry will be run by Teranet, an Ontario company. This untendered 30-year contract to Teranet should be available for public analysis. Will the Premier table today the province's 30-year contract with Teranet in the legislature?
Mr. Speaker, the arrangements with Teranet have had an independent evaluation. They've been deemed to be very competitive. We have an independent monitor called. We have an independent monitor called a register that ensures that the public interest will be protected in terms of privacy of individuals' personal information. So we put measures in place, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that the privacy of personal information is looked after, and there was a review of this specific arrangement to ensure that it was competitive in the public interest, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we saw from the Auditor General's report many single-source contracts without adequate justification. We're very concerned that this contract with Teranet may be in the same situation, that there wasn't adequate justification for doing a hundreds of millions of dollars, 30-year contract with Teranet without tendering it. The Auditor General is concerned about the government following procurement policies and laws. I ask the Premier, what evidence can he present to demonstrate that his government actually followed the policies and laws of procurement in their 30-year contract with Teranet?
Speaker, we did have a review of the arrangement before it was entered into. The review indicated that it was a reasonable arrangement. It generated a $75 million benefit to the people of Manitoba immediately. It provided for a very significant upgrade to the software that provides the service to the people that use it in Manitoba. That software upgrade was done without additional capital expense by the province of Manitoba, which avoided further debt incursion in the province of Manitoba. And it put in place a register to protect the privacy and the public interest privacy of citizens of Manitoba and ensure that that was properly complied with. So, several important measures were taken to ensure that the Teranet arrangement met the public interest test, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, with STARS, the Auditor General now estimates the contract's worth or will cost $159 million, much more than initially advertised. The problem is that this government continues to hide the facts. If the government were actually following appropriate procurement policies, they should have released the Teranet contract and given us the actual cost, which is probably going to be much larger than the STARS helicopter contract. Will the Premier commit to following the procurement policies and the laws of Manitoba, and can he provide a date when the Teranet contract will be available to the public and the real value of this contract?
Again, Mr. Speaker, the Teranet contract had an independent review. It generated immediate benefit to the citizens of Manitoba of $75 million. It has a dividend or a payment of $11 million a year and rising over the term of the contract, Mr. Speaker. It provided access to state-of-the-art software to improve the quality of service for the people using the service, Mr. Speaker. It was a net benefit to the people of Manitoba. It ensured that employees of the property registry retained their pension, their benefits, the collective bargaining representative that they had. All of these measures were carefully considered in the transaction, Mr. Speaker, and a register was put in place to ensure the privacy of information that was being asked for by the public. So all of these measures have been put in place, and I'm sure that we'll be happy to discuss it with the member as we go through the estimates process, Mr. Speaker.